You've been playing that for a couple weeks now, right?
Just a week. It's only been out a week.
Okay. On kind of reason I wonder that is I've been playing New World. I picked it up last Saturday. I just crossed over about 43 hours.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, John's on this thing about every day.
It's pretty much all I've been doing. And the thing, I know when we talked about it like a couple months before it came out, my opinion of it was I'm probably not going to check it out because I'm going to wait on it and see if there's anything there. Well, it looked fun, so I picked it up, and
then he discovered it's his new RuneScape.
The shit that I've been doing in that game is stupid. When I had about 15 hours in, probably 12 of it's mining and cutting trees down and gathering plants, because everything in the game is useful. Like you need stones for like town project boards. But okay, so New World, if you haven't heard, it's the new like MMO that's out right now by Amazon. And I jumped onto a low population server because I was like, I don't want to have to deal with any potential issues with high player counts or anything like that people were having a few days before I jumped in. And yeah, pretty much anything you do in that game is beneficial, whether it's for your crafting, your gathering levels, because you can, like for mining, for instance, you pretty much have to start out like mining stone, or I think you can do iron right away, but like silver, you got to mine up your level to be able to mine silver. Gold, can't mine gold until you're high enough level on it. And then it's like the next tiers up, it's like magic stones. So stones that give you other crafting materials to use for like different crafting professions, basically. But there's just something to do for everything. And iron is used in everything. Because the way the system works is iron is like your base material for like smithing.
So everyone has to start with iron?
You always have to have iron because you need iron, and then to make steel you need iron. And then to make the next tier of material is called star metal. To make star metal, you need steel. And so it's like, and it gets, I think it's 4-to-1 for just about everything.
Dang, okay.
So, and then there's a tier above star metal, which is orichalcum.
So all I can ask John at this point, because I talked to you very early on when you first picked up New World, and the one thing you said to me was at the time was you were leveling up your wood cutting, and the only thing I could think of at the time was back in like middle school, high school days, just you wood cutting in RuneScape. So that's this entire time, every time when he talks about it, I always think, this is a new RuneScape. And then my other thing is, like, so John, when are you going to become a crafting master in there? And just make everyone have to buy all their crafts from you?
Well, the thing is, like, I'm still fairly early on. I'm like around a little above half the level cap right now.
Okay.
Because I've spent a lot of time grinding out, like, gathering professions and things like that, where a lot of people just speed ran the content to level 60 and then went from there. But I've just been, whatever I feel like doing at the time is what I do. Like, I'd log in, and every time I logged in, I'd go check my mining route that I was doing in my town. But one of the interesting things about the game is because it's a heavy PvP focus in game, where each zone has a town associated with it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you hit level 10, you can join a faction. There's 3 factions. And the factions can control the area by controlling the town, and they'll wage wars over it.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, and then it's like when war is declared, it's notified across the server, and you can, if you want to participate in the war, you can go sign up for it at the war board.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on what faction you're in, you'd either be joining the attacking or defending side. which I haven't participated much in the PvP yet. But the faction that controls the town determines the upgrades for the town. So,
Okay.
So like like I was talking about with like mining and that, like in the town I'm at, I can mine. It's like I have star metal ore, and I can smith it, but I can't forge anything into star metal because none of our crafting stations in that specific town are high enough level to utilize it.
Oh, that sucks.
So I could take it fast travel to another town that has a forge and do
Yeah.
it there, but the problem is the faction that controls the town, or like the company, which is kind of like guilds,
Yeah.
that controls the town, sets the tax rates for the town.
Ah.
So there's taxes for crafting, selling items, and things like that. Which nobody on my server is a dick about it.
Oh, thank God.
They've all got relatively good prices. I haven't gone anywhere where it's up like anywhere above moderate.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all reasonable. Like the server I joined is a small server, but I mean for the most part everybody's kind of there to have fun. Nobody's there to be a dick for the most part.
Hearing you say this and that it has its whole economy thing is making me think a lot of like EVE Online. You know what that is?
Yeah, I know roughly.
So EVE Online's a big space MMO that's been around for years now, decades actually, and it's got its own economy and whatnot where there's actual real life corporations of people making money and stuff off of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, this is a large game where like ships in that literally cost millions of real world dollars.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, and there's like whole big corporations and whatnot that make money strictly through that game and trading ships and things like that. So him saying this about New World makes me that there is a possibility of it, depending on how it goes and which communities do, it could go in that direction again and be something similar like EVE Online where there's people making tons of money just doing trading in game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know, because EVE Online has the ability to like transfer the money in game,
Yeah,
to real life money.
yeah.
That I don't think the New World has that capability.
Well, if I'm remembering correctly, I don't think EVE did originally either.
But yeah, it's the whole different faction thing is interesting in the game. I haven't messed with it too much. I mean, as far as it's related to me, it's just my faction quests that I get. You can get 3 at a time at your faction leader.
So you have to pick a faction whenever you hit level 10?
You don't have to.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to. You can delay it if you want to, but the faction missions they give you faction rep, and as you get more faction rep, you can buy like faction equipment. It's just another option for getting equipment and certain items that you need for different crafting recipes. But other than that, it just determines which side you would be on for the PvP. If you wanted to participate in like the wars and that.
Gotcha.
And as far as like the PvE content, fairly bare bones. I mean,
Well, that sort of sucks because that's the thing I usually like is PvE.
well, the thing is it's bare bones, but I mean I'm having a lot of fun with it because the quests aren't anything crazy. Because PvP PvE, excuse me, I'm pretty sure was like tacked on towards the end of it.
Oh,
Or it wasn't the initial focus. It was originally a heavy PvP game.
gotcha.
But the PvE side of it, it's like the town missions. Like there's a mission board, and it's like when the company that owns the town selects an upgrade, the missions that people complete on that board give progress to it to get it done. But they're all pretty straightforward. It'll be like go to this. Some of them will be like go to this spot, kill these enemies, and loot these chests, or craft these items, or go gather these materials, or hunt these enemies, or something like that. So it's nothing too crazy. In a zone, when you're doing those and you're doing like your faction missions, you're gonna be running around to the same spots over and over again. But all of like the different chests and everything that are in the zones, it's like they're to loot them, they respawn. I think a lot of it's like every 30 minutes, every hour, or something like that. And the big thing about opening the chest is that's where you get some of your resources that you need for crafting. So like for doing the higher tiers of like the woodworking, you need like coarse sandpaper, and you get that from doing the chests and that, which I mean, as you kind of run around grinding like I have been, where I'm just circling the zones a bunch of times, looting them on my way, or I start doing. I've recently, in the past couple of days, started actually doing a lot of the faction missions and quests and things like that. And they send me back to the same spots over and over again, so I've got a decent amount of just base materials. But there's. I need to buy a house. Is really what it is.
Okay.
I need to buy a house in the game because I only have. I'm in my starter town for the most part, and you can, when you're out in the wilderness, you can only fast travel if you're at a fast travel point.
Okay.
Or you can recall to the inn that you're registered at, or your house. But I don't have a house. But I can afford to buy a house now. I realized that earlier. So I need to buy a house.
See, I was thinking
the house adds more storage space.
Okay, that's where I thought you were going, because I was like, I'm assuming he's saying this because he needs storage space.
Yeah, I need storage space.
Are the houses already like just in town or something, or can you build one, or can you choose like, where it's gonna go? Or
there's in the towns, there's buildings that are there that if you walk up to, they'll tell you the price of the house. It's like you can
it's Fable.
You can pick which one in the town that you want to live at, and then I think what's visible to players is whoever, it's either yours or whoever has it upgraded the most, I'm pretty sure. But and then if I get a house, then I'll start actually messing with like the furniture, like whatever the furniture crafting skill is, so I can decorate it. But I haven't messed with that at all yet. But yeah, there's 20 or more odd skills to level up in the game between gathering, crafting, and
So if I was to buy this and make a character, I could make a character that's literally just a tailor.
Pretty much. The thing I haven't talked about yet is the way skills work in the game, like or skills or classes. It's all based off your weapons. So each weapon has a tree or two trees that you can pick skills from.
Okay.
So as you kill enemies with the weapon, you gain experience towards a weapon, and then it maxes out at 35. I think. I'm not even. I have none that are close to that.
But each class has 2 weapon types?
No. Each weapon. So like if you want to be like a range character, you equipped the bow or the musket, and then as you use the weapon, you get points you can put into it, and your musket would have a skill tree or it had 2 skill trees that have passive points and then active abilities that you pick from.
Gotcha.
So, and then the only other thing that determines that is when you level up, you get attribute points for strength, dexterity, focus, intelligence, and constitution. Each one gives you different stats, like for the weapon. Like two-handed melee weapons are based off strength. Constitution just gives you HP. Health. Magic weapons are based off of intelligence. So it's like you can respec them if you want to for minimal amount of gold.
So how does that work for like character builds? Because can't you use multiple weapons in a loadout?
Yeah. A lot of times you try. I guess a lot of times you would try to focus on weapons that scale with similar attributes.
Gotcha.
Like I've been running around Great Axe Hatchet, which both scale off strength. Now I'm Great Axe Warhammer because I was wanting to try the Warhammer out. When I started, I was Spear Musket, which both scale off dexterity.
Is there a large amount of weapon types?
Yeah, I was about to ask the same thing.
Great Axe, Warhammer, Hatchet, Rapier, Musket, Bow, Fire Staff, Ice Gauntlet, Life Staff. I might be missing something, but that's the gist of it.
So ideally, if they were going to add in a new class type, it would be more or less they'd be adding new weapon types.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It's like to make a new class with new abilities. They just add a new weapon into the game.
Okay.
So see, I'm sort of curious about that system. Sort of like how Secret World we played a long time ago. That was a whole just skill and item level. Your build was based on what skills you got and what your item level was. So I'm sort of curious about this, which it's builds based on just weapon trees.
Yeah, it's like the skills are the way to think about it is the skills are based off of the weapons that you equipped, and your damage, like your damage or your stats, come from your attributes that you apply upon level up. But yeah, it's like I said, I'm in the around mid 30 levels right now, and to respec my attributes, it's about 90 gold, which is not much. I mean, you could do, I think it's a couple faction quests, or just like chain run some mission boards or something, or if you don't, not worried about making gold fast. I started selling things, like I just started checking what I had in my inventory at the trading post, see if anybody has any sell offers out, and if I'm not using it, or if I have like an excess of it, I'd just start selling it to people that have buy offers out.
Gotcha.
So it's like I made a little bit of money doing that, but at least for leveling up. I mean, I've got more enough money right now where I can buy my house. And like have money for repairs or buying stuff whenever I need it right now.
I know the game has like its economy system and everything, but what's considered a lot of money in that game? Because I mean, from the way you're talking, it's not difficult to get 90 gold just by doing a couple missions. So like, how does the money go in terms of like, scaling, I guess?
I know like buying territories is in the tens of thousands.
Okay.
But I think it is. I think like buying like some territories, it'd be in the tens of thousands. Don't quote me on that. I know it's somewhere up there. I saw people, like one guild was wanting to take a territory earlier, or last night, I think it was, for I think it was the Marauder faction, which is what I'm a part of. And they were trying to get people to join their company and help them get the gold for it. I think they were looking for 50,000 gold total. Which, I mean, for context, a house, like the base level house, is 7,500. Okay. And me, I've been playing casually, not trying to make money, just kind of doing my own thing, and I've got like 10 or 11,000 right now, and that's just passively getting it from just mostly doing like my gathering and mining and shit like that, where I'm just leveling up all my stuff and just kind of going about it, figuring it out as I go.
Okay. Dumb question here for someone who doesn't really play MMOs or really dive into that field at all. When it comes to the factions, I'm assuming they have no impact in terms of playing with your friends, or does it have a massive impact in terms of if you want? Because from what you're saying, it has an impact on the story, yes, because of the war stuff. But if I was to choose like a different faction from you, how much does that factor into everything?
I don't know if you need to be a part of the same. Well, to be a part of the same company, you'd have to be in the same faction.
Okay.
But as far as like just grouping up randomly, it's like I did the like the first level dungeon the other night. I think it's called the AniMan excavation.
Mm-hmm.
I just threw it in the recruitment. I was looking to do it. Ran over there, got an invite. Had all three different factions were a part of it. 2 people from my faction, 2 people from a different one, and 1 from the third. Okay. As far as just doing stuff like that, it doesn't matter. Running around in the overworld, you can flag for PvP, just like open world PvP if you want to, and then if you do that, then anyone from a different faction that's out there, like out in the world, if they're flagged as well, it's
free game.
It's warfare.
So yeah, what I'm getting to answer your question is just PvE content doesn't matter. Yep. PvP content same faction, otherwise kill each other. And then if you want to start a guild, you need to be same faction. So
Yeah,
Gotcha.
The faction stuff, I guess it's like, I guess it would be cosmetic differences
Okay.
in like the faction armor, basically, for which one you would care to do, and then you're not tied to your faction indefinitely when you pick it.
Another question I had.
You are tied to it for a while, because I don't remember exactly what the time limit is, but it's an extended period of time. But once that time ends, you can change faction if you want to for free.
Is this game a good entry level MMO for people that's not super experienced in MMOs like myself?
Not if you don't want to grind.
I was about to say, yeah,
Okay.
everything he's been saying sounds like heavy grinding.
If
So for like simplified, no.
if you don't want to, like, I mean, if you don't care about doing any of the gathering stuff or anything like that, you don't have to do it. Like, there's the gathering portion of it is for the people that want to go out and do it themselves, or they're doing it to, like, they're gathering it up. Because like I said, the way the crafting system works, everything for like forging weapons and armor is like everything needs iron at a base level to be able to craft it up and up and up and up. So it's like, even like if new people join the server and they're low level and they're mining iron, and then they don't want to mess with that, they can sell it off for cheap to the people that need it to craft it into the higher materials. So it's a system where that kind of, as people join in, as people are like going back to do some of the stuff they missed out on before, or they just skipped over, I mean, it's there for them to do if they want to.
Gotcha.
I mean, from what John's saying, there's quite a possibility you could bourgeoisie yourself and just buy up all the like tier 1 materials to be able to market up the sell price like an ass.
Well, that's the thing, is in the server I'm in, since it's a small server, it's like there are people that are max level in the game and running around like farming in-game zones, or like trying to gear up in that. But a lot of the servers kind of playing at their own pace, doing their own thing. Like, I've seen a lot of, like, there's a ton of people around my level, and I mean, I recognize people in the chat now, because they'll be in there every day, like constantly in global chat talking shit or to other factions, or they'll be in there asking for duels, or they'll just be in there talking randomly. Like, there was an argument earlier in there about if New World is better than ESO, and it was like people going back and forth on it, and it was basically, I mean, if you enjoy ESO more, why are you in New World global chat talking about it?
Talking some shit.
It's like you're over here. It's like you're in there doing that. If you enjoy the other game more, I mean, why are you in here just trying to put everybody else down for playing it? It's like, just go play that game. But for the most part, the server I'm in, community's great in it. Not too many people that are like aggressive or kind of just being dicks in the server. Everybody's helpful. Like, there's a help chat in there.
Yeah.
Or a chat option for help where people pose questions. And it's actually very active with responses when people have questions.
That's always nice.
Which is something you don't see a lot
It's
of
not.
times. And then even like for like I said, the lower level dungeons and that, like people, if the same people are asking to see if anybody's looking for a group or anything, eventually, if enough times it gets asked, some higher level person will just throw on their healing gear and show up and be like, "Yo, come on, let's do it.
Let's go. You just run in there, you'll be alive."
Yeah, it's like you do your thing. I need to work on my healing skill anyway, so we'll just do this. And it's like, okay, well, that works out.
That's always good, because usually you need a guild or something to really get that crap, and then even guilds are dicks about it sometimes.
Yeah, it's like I haven't joined a company yet. It's like I've had people that I've been running around with just in the open world throw invites to me. I've had like the dungeon groups throw them out to me, but I'm having fun now. I don't know how long I'm gonna play. It's like I'm not gonna join, and like it's like I'm not gonna join up right now. If I'm still into it in a week, we'll see.
You don't want to commit it just yet.
It's like I'm not gonna join it. I'm not gonna join some random company where like they may like expect or want something and maybe like I'm not into it now. But overall, I've been having a fucking blast with it.
So would you recommend New World to anybody?
If you don't mind the grind of it, like if you're interested in the crafting side of it or interested in the gathering side of it, it can be boring. Like I thought cutting trees was boring as fuck. And then my forge in my town got upgraded. I was out there clear cutting the forest.
Leave it to me, guys.
I was out there clear cutting the forest because suddenly I needed charcoal and I needed the higher level wood so that I could craft weapons.
Oh, I pictures John out there after day of lumberjack. He's like, "Oh, that sucked. New blacksmith in town, new forge. God dang it!"
No, it was the thing. Like the notification went through. Forge has been upgraded to the new tier, and it was like a fucking dash out of town. Everybody was it's like there was the people that have been doing it, and then it was people like me that was like, I don't want to do that. And then I'm suddenly you're out there like racing people to the closest forest to start clear cutting.
Now I just see people in the middle of forests have cut down trees, doling it out for the right to cut one tree.
This is my tree. I saw it first.
That's the thing is I didn't understand the faction side of it when I started playing. So
Yeah.
like the town I got put in at the beginning is owned by a different faction, and by the time I realized that, I had a storage shed full of shit.
Did you have to move it?
That's why I don't want to transfer. So I'm like, my faction will come take over this town eventually. They've been talking about it, so eventually they'll come take it over.
I mean, I see it in the faction chat. They're constantly talking about it, but I'm just sort of over here waiting.
It's like I'll be here and I'll buy a house in a different town eventually. But the only thing that's annoying about it is if your faction controls 2 towns, you can access the storage from either town.
Oh, that's nice.
But if another faction controls it,
You lose that other
you
storage.
lose that access.
That sucks.
You just can't access it from the other town. You can
Yeah.
access it if you're there, but like if I'm in my starter city where all my basic materials
More or less, a
are,
supply line gets cut off.
yeah, it's like all my starter materials are there that I need for everything else. I don't want to move that right now. It's like I could. The thing is, I could like throw it on the trading post at a higher price,
Mm-hmm.
and then fast travel to the town that I want to go to, and then just delist it, get it back, throw it in the storage there. But I just got a bunch of starter shit over there. I'd like if all my starter shit was in one town and then all my other shit was in another town. But I can't control that. So, I mean, at this point, I'm like, I'll just move into the towns that my people own.
All right.
But yeah, it's like if you're looking for like heavy PvE side of it, it's a lot of the same repetitive stuff that you're gonna be doing. You're gonna be revisiting the same locations, running around the same areas. PvP, from what I hear, PvP and it's fun. The war system people seem to be enjoying. Fucking wars are declared every time there's an opportunity on my server. Like, I mean, you go to if there's a war scheduled, then it's like when you open the map, when you go down to the town, it'll just be on the map, upcoming invasion, or something like that. It's like, okay, yeah, I get it. Someone declared war. Can you take that off so I can zoom in right there?
Hey, Dave, you hear about that war that's going to be happening in like a couple hours? You going to join?
I mean, that's pretty much it. It's like there's always a war going on. But I mean, even with kind of the bare bones PvE stuff that's there, I mean, it's fun. I mean, I've had a blast, but I mean, I've been rotating weapons constantly.
Yeah.
It's like I think I've tried about every weapon or like every weapon now, because I hadn't messed around with Warhammer at all until just this morning.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been leveling it up to try to get some skills in it to see how it is. But so far, I've been having a blast.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, overall, to me, it sounds like it'd be an entertaining MMO just for crafting and PvP. I don't know. Actually, hearing you talk about it, John, I might mess with MMOs again. I sort of burnt myself out a long time ago on MMOs, but I might mess with it because I always enjoy a good crafting system.
See, that's the thing is like, because like I said, everything I'm doing means I'm making progress somewhere else. Because mining, I may be mining iron, but as I'm mining, I'm also getting small chances at like gem drops, and I need gems for jewel crafting. So it's like because I'm jewel crafting, I always need a source of silver, and then it's like even now that I've got like gold and I can't mine platinum yet, but I could use platinum if I had it.
Yeah.
But it's like everything I'm doing feeds into something else, like gathering plants, like gathering herbs, gathering plants, gathering food means I can do the cooking side of it, or I can do the potion crafting and things like that. So I mean, it's interesting from that aspect because you get a little bit of experience no matter what you're doing. You go out and cut a tree down, you may get 10 experience from it, you may get 30, you may get 5, but you're making progress.
Okay.
So it's like even if it's like you run out and like whatever you're doing, you don't feel like you're really wasting time is the nice part about it. Because it's like so far, very little interactions with other players for the most part, aside from like dungeons or finding people randomly out there like doing corruptions. And I'm like, you know what, I'll help you out.
Okay. So overall, sounds like Amazon's doing well for this second game release.
Yeah, a hell of a lot better than the first one, that's for damn sure. And I've kind of seen the same thing online, just that everyone's kind of taken New World and it's been received overall pretty well. And even though I'm not a big MMO guy, I'm kind of with you. The crafting system does sound kind of cool, and I'm kind of tempted to maybe try the game out.
The only thing, Alex, is it's going to be a grind. Because, the entire time he was talking about that, all I think is like, do I remember how to set an auto loop on a character? Because it's been so long since I've done an auto loop.
There are some grinds that I really like, and there are some that I don't. So I can't give examples because it's just like I have to be like in the situation. Because there are some games that have grind sessions where I am perfectly fine just sitting there turning my brain off and grinding to no end for hours. And there's others where it's like, this is stupid. I don't want to waste my time on this. So it just depends.
I got a 15 to 20 minute mining loop that I run on in my town when I log in, depending on when I started, like my starting point, depending on which ore blocks, like which ore spawns are taken. I either go one route or another route if I think someone's on the same route. And it's like sometimes it's longer because people have taken the route that I'm on and I have to adjust halfway. But yeah, it's like I mean that's the thing. It's like I just run around. I discover my routes that are good for me, that are beneficial and don't take too long. But I get distracted every time I go to do something. I may go on a mining route, and the next thing you know, I'm 2 territories over, just like fishing.
There you go.